Though film censorship is mercifully infrequent in the Western world, the same sadly isn't true of some countries which have distinctly different and, let's call it, conservative, political and social values. These 10 movies, all of them popular and successful in the West, enjoyed a far less favourable response in other parts of the world, to the extent that they were outright banned. For some pretty daft reasons, it must be said. From blatant homophobia to obscure fears of anything that might threaten to undermine a country, to misplaced theories about comedy movies corrupting a nation's youth, these blanket bannings are among the most absurd and downright laughable that cinema has ever seen. But they happen, so it's probably worth dissecting exactly why these Western hits were clawed away from certain screens around the world. And it's also just really funny to talk about how Thailand thought Kevin Smith was going to influence an entire generation into shagging on film. Anywho, I'm Gareth from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 movies that were banned for incredibly dumb reasons. Number 10, Team America World Police. Where? North Korea. The reason? For mocking President Kim Jong-il. When the creators of South Park, Trey Parker, Matt Stone and Pam Brady set out to make a film, you know that no country, person or topic will be safe. And that is exactly why we pay our good money to see what glorious mayhem they will come up with next. One of the greatest things about filmmaking in the Western world is the freedom, which we often take as a bit of a given, it gives artists to comment on the world at large. And that extends to ridiculing contentious and controversial political figures. North Korea, not exactly a country known for their self-deprecating humor, took none too kindly to their illustrious leader being mercilessly ripped apart in the incredible puppet musical action comedy thing known as Team America World Police. But it would not be the last time the country famously bristled with Hollywood. 2014's The Interview was also banned by the country for its unflattering depiction of Kim Jong-un. And we all know how that went. Naughty Rogan. Very funny Rogan, but still naughty, naughty Rogan. Number 9, The Departed. Where? China. The reason? A scene in which Chinese secret agents are depicted purchasing advanced military computer hardware from gangsters. You probably don't remember this subplot, if you can even call it that, as I completely forgot about it myself, to be honest. But in Martin Scorsese's Best Picture-winning masterpiece, Jack Nicholson's mob boss Frank Costello makes a shady deal with the Chinese authorities. And that's about it, really. So it's pretty ridiculous that China had such a venomous knee-jerk response to it, and decided to ban the picture from being shown in mainland cinemas upon its release in 2007. It's especially ironic as the film on which The Departed is actually based is based in Hong Kong itself. Even if this film departs from its predecessor's script and tone quite significantly. Get it? Because that's the name of the... Oh, God. Number 8, The Simpsons movie. Where? Burma. The reason? The juxtaposition of the colours yellow and red, which was interpreted as support for Burmese rebel groups. If you thought that the only reason anyone could ever consider banning The Simpsons movie is that brief flash of young Bart's penis, think again. But I distinctly remember choking on some popcorn when I saw that as a small boy. During the time of the film's release, the Burmese junta wanted to keep yellow and red colours out of movies as much as possible. And so a movie featuring possibly more yellow than any other in existence was never gonna fly. Quite what juxtaposition they're talking about though is anyone's guess. But perhaps there's not too much value in questioning the logic too much here, as it didn't seem to affect the film's critical and financial success worldwide. Number 7, Wonder Woman. Where? Lebanon, Qatar, and Tunisia. The reason? Because of star Gal Gadot's prior service in the Israeli army, and because of an old Lebanese law which prohibits citizens from consuming Israeli products. Lebanon's Ministry of Economy banned the film shortly before it was due to premiere, and though Gadot's politics are divisive even with Western audiences, the Lebanese government couldn't see past Gadot's involvement and rubbished Wonder Woman as an Israeli soldier film. Given that the film has no political inflection from Gadot herself, it feels pretty weak as an ideological stance, especially as previous movies starring both Gadot and fellow Israeli actress Natalie Portman have been released in the country with no qualms. A prior attempt was also made to ban Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, but that failed. Will Wonder Woman 1984 receive a similar ban? Perhaps Lebanon's government will give the Amazonian a pass this time round, but don't bet on it. Number 6, Brokeback Mountain. Where? The Middle East. The reason? The film's depiction of homosexuality, which is illegal in most parts of the Islamic world. There's not much point digging too deeply into this one. Parts of the Middle East are quite openly homophobic, and we all know how ridiculous that is. One Arab state, Lebanon, did permit the film to be screened in an edited format, but otherwise, Ang Lee's Oscar-winning drama was shunned throughout the region. Ironically, the film also didn't get a release in Lee's native China due to a perceived lack of demand, despite Lee being hailed as a credit to his nation when he won the Oscar for Best Director. Awkward. There wasn't exactly much of a demand for Transformers The Last Night, but that didn't stop it gracing Chinese screens, did it? Number 5, ZACK and MIRI make a porno. Where? Thailand and Trinidad. The reason? Teenagers might try to mimic the central character's attempt to make their own porn movie. Newsflash, people have been recording themselves having sex ever since recording equipment has existed, and they did not need Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks to encourage them to do it. While placing age restrictions on a film to protect younger viewers from impressionable behavior is a common tactic in most countries, that apparently wasn't enough for Thailand and Trinidad, who banned the film outright. It's especially bizarre as the movie is actually a pretty sweet and warm-hearted sex-positive romantic comedy. One suspects the censors just saw the title and quickly passed their judgment without actually, watching the film. Which is why you should never judge a porno by its cover. Or something like that, I don't know. Number 4, Borat. Where? All Arab countries except Lebanon and United Arab Emirates, also banned in Russia and Kazakhstan. The reason? For being vile, gross, and extremely ridiculous, and for its unflattering depiction of Kazakhstan. Sacha Baron Cohen's iconic mockumentary left the Kazakhstan authorities so pissed off that they not only banned the movie from cinemas and DVD, but also threatened to sue Cohen, and still routinely arrest tourists who decide to wear Borat-esque mankinis. But we salute your attempts, fallen brethren. The official Kazakh response to the film is especially embarrassing, as more recently, Foreign Minister Yazan Kazakinov, my apologies for butchering your name there, sir, ended up saluting Cohen for helping visa requests to the country increase tenfold, and generally heightening tourist interest. Any publicity is good publicity, my friends. Number 3, Sausage Party. Where? China. The reason? A self-inflicted ban carried out by the movie's Taiwanese distributor to prevent parents accidentally taking their kids to see it. Of all the things you could ban Sausage Party for, its graphic sexual content and thorny religious themes, perhaps? Doing so because you don't trust parents to read about the film they're taking their kids to see has to be the laziest. And if true, it only demonstrates a serious lack of trust in your population, in all honesty. Everything you need to know about the movie is apparent from the trailers, and if you still decide to take your sprog to see a food orgy, well, that's surely on you. It's not good parenting, but it's on you. Though the image of parents realizing exactly what the film was all about, midway through a screening, is one that is sure to brighten up any chap or chapette's day. Number 2, Christopher Robin. Where? China. The reason? Winnie the Pooh is seen as a symbol of political dissent. Alright, laugh it up. Disney's latest live-action Winnie the Pooh movie, Christopher Robin, was banned from China after online activists began derisively comparing the bear of very little brain to the country's president, Xi Jinping, in recent years. Yep, that's a thing, that's actually happened. Chinese internet memes have playfully compared the two to the extent that China has now restricted all access to official Pooh media, because there is such a thing apparently, as much as possible, culminating in this new movie being outright banned. This seems unavoidably comical given the affable, harmless nature of the character, but to the fragile Chinese government, he's a petrifying mascot for political revolution. Or maybe we're just getting it wrong. Number 1, Ghostbusters 2016. Where? China. The reason? Because it promotes cults or superstition. China famously has an aversion to screening movies featuring ghosts or the supernatural in general, and one that has resulted in numerous high-profile blockbusters failing to secure Chinese theatrical releases. Suicide Squad, the second Pirates of the Caribbean film, and Alice in Wonderland all being banned stand as fine examples of this attitude towards the surreal. Paul Feig's ill-fated Ghostbusters reboot, though about as silly, harmless, and unrealistic as ghost movies come, was apparently discomforting enough for China Film Co. to pass on it. One executive added that in addition to the ghoulish theme hampering its release, it's not really that attractive to Chinese audiences. Considering that the movie ended up being a box office dud, it sure could have benefited from even a small theatrical release in the country. That being said, it wasn't really that attractive to the rest of the world, so there's no guaranteeing that even a small Chinese release would have moved the needle in any meaningful way. And that's our list. Know of any other movies that were banned for incredibly dumb reasons? Feel free to remind us of them in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I've been Gareth from WhatCulture.com. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you soon.